And joining us now is the big newsmaker, Delhi's former Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Najeeb Jung. Mr. Jung, thank you so much for your time here. Sir, you are an academician as well, and for the benefits of our viewers, could you give us a sense what exactly is Tablighi Jamaat? How is it different from other Islamic sects? And how big is this Jamaat in India?
Well, I think the Jamaat started in early 1940s, and the idea is to span out in villages and teach people the fundamentals of Islam. It is not ideally a proselytizing Jamaat, but basically to teach people on the good aspects of Islam. And they have been doing this work, I think, for the last almost 80, 90 years now.
And who are its followers?
It's, of course, different from the Jamaat-e-Islami, etc.
Yes, sir, please go ahead.
Well, the followers are largely... This is different from the Jamaat-e-Islami, which became almost a political arm of a political party, and of course in Pakistan with Maulana Maududi became powerful politically. But the Tablighi Jamaat is not a political organization at all. They concentrate only on the religious aspects of Islam.
And they are relatively influential?
They are a pretty benign organization. They are influential in the sense that they move out in rural areas and talk to people. They don't ask for any chanda or any help, but people help them. And so there are no adverse activities to their name so far that we know of.
And Mr. Jung, now that Nizamuddin is corona hotspot following this Tablighi event, 24 have been tested positive so far and 1 death reported from Jammu and Kashmir. At a time when corona was spreading like wildfire, would it not have been wiser on the part of the Islamic scholars to put a stop and postpone the event for a later date?
I think it was very stupid of them to have carried out this activity. It was known that corona was coming into India well into March, and have a congregation of this, it cannot be forgiven. I believe that the Delhi government has taken an absolutely right action in trying to prosecute the people responsible for this. This is a gross neglect of their function. The moment they discovered that there was a fear, people should have been sent away. At the same time, I cannot absolve the Delhi administration, because if there were 2,000 or 1,000 people here, even on the 21st or 22nd, there should have been a proactive action on the part of the local administration to somehow segregate them, take them away in buses, have them tested or whatever. So, first, the absolute criminal act is of the organizers of the Jamaat. There is no doubt about it. And secondly, there is indeed a neglect on the part of the local administration.
So, you know, you have been...
So what the Chief Minister has done in...
Yes,
sorry.
Please. Continue, sir.
No, so I was saying that what the Chief Minister has done in terms of lodging an FIR is absolutely right. This should be carried out to the hilt. An FIR is a mere threat. I think that this should be investigated. People, whoever are responsible, should be brought to book.
Sir, kindly explain to us the procedure that is needed to obtain permission for this kind of an act. Who is the enforcer if there is any violation? If there was a Delhi government advisory, as it is being said now, then who should be held accountable if that is not followed? Who do we blame for this criminal negligence?
No, Maria, I think the Markaz, I don't think requires permissions, formal permissions when they have these Jamaats getting there. So that should have been a pretty routine kind of a thing. The question is that when the threat of corona was indeed coming in, that is the time when the organizers of the Jamaat should have woken up and approached the authorities to help them evacuate. I have read somewhere an explanation from the Jamaat that these people were there and they couldn't be evacuated and they were requesting the police for help, etc. But I don't know, this is all bureaucratic confusion. Someone should have got much more proactive and ensured that there is evacuation.
You know, Mr. Jung, Delhi DCP South East, Mr. Meena, has been quoted by certain newspapers as saying, when we came to know about the congregation, we issued a notice to the organizers, after which the program was stopped. That means Jamaat violated the law.
This is a very lame excuse on the part of Meena if he has said this. It was his duty to make sure that he went inside, caught hold of the organizers and told them that they are being evacuated. It's a forceful evacuation. There is no question of writing a letter to them and saying, please go away. This is the future of our country. So Meena can't be absolved of his responsibility by saying that I wrote to them and they didn't obey. Of course, the Jamaat people are more culpable.
You know,
look, I keep hearing this. Sorry, Maria, I keep hearing this, that often Muslims are saying that, we will go to pray or not go to pray and Allah will look after this. This is not true. The hadith clearly clarifies that if there is an emergency, then you can pray from your homes. There are instances in Islamic history when the Prophet himself or the second Caliph, Prophet Hazrat Umar, turned back from a place which was reported to having the plague. So with all this, it is nonsensical for any congregation to go on, and also equally nonsensical for the government to allow such a thing to happen.
So when you say administration, who according to you is to be held accountable?
Well, Delhi is a peculiar hybrid of administration. So obviously it is the local police here that is responsible for such a gathering. Having said that, there is the local deputy commissioner and the SDM who also look at these things. But the ultimate responsibility of evacuating these people rests with the Delhi police.
Mr. Jung, there are foreign nationals in this group from over 10 countries. England, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Indonesia, who arrived here on tourist visas, and then they made their way onwards for delivering sermons. Don't you see this as a violation of visa rules as well?
I think this has been going on for a long time at the Markaz, and the administration should have been vigilant years ago to this kind of violation. We are now crying over spilt milk. They are coming on visas and they are doing this, and the administration, the local police, turns a blind eye. This should not be done. There are rules for such congregations and they must be complied with. Unfortunately, we are waking up when the tragedy has struck.
What would be your advice to religious leaders in our country so that we don't see a repeat of Nizamuddin? Because religious shrines world over are shut, including Makkah.
I would beg all religious leaders to please cry off from attending these religious congregations, mosques, temples, churches. They have to shut down for this period. It's a very, very serious matter. The Prime Minister made a very passionate appeal. He said, with folded hands, I'm appealing to you. What more of an appeal do you need now? It's absolutely absurd for people to be getting together in this manner, particularly in religious gatherings.
And Jung Sahab, you said it rightly. Namaz ghar mein padhi ja sakti hai. Aap ghar mein padhein.
Namaz to sadak mein padhi ja sakti hai. You travel to Afghanistan and Iran and Iraq, where there's the call for prayer and you can't reach a mosque or your home. You just have to spread a prayer mat, turn your heads towards the Kaaba and pray. The belief is that God exists everywhere. The mosque is only a symbol for the faithful to gather and pray together. But it is not at all necessary that you have to rush to a mosque in dire emergency. You can stop your cycle on the roadside, lay a prayer mat and say your prayers.
Mr. Najeeb Jung, always a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time here, sir, and sending that message at this time. I'm hoping that members of the minority community, the Muslim community, are listening to you and they will stop from going to the mosques. That is not needed. Namaz ghar mein padhein, that is allowed. That is what Islam says.